You're listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, a place to learn about how to grow your business and stay ahead of technological advances before they become mainstream. This episode is sponsored by Ingram Micro's Xvantage, the next level way to transform your business's potential and reshape how customers see you through advanced transactional data. Let's get into it. Welcome to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. I'm your host, Shelby Skrhak, and our guests today are Nicole Dziedzic, Ingram Micro Senior Vendor Business Manager, and Clay Carpenter, Ingram Micro Senior Channel Account Executive. Nicole and Clay, welcome.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. So today we're talking about customer success at scale. First off, I'd love to maybe further set the scene here. So Nicole, can you talk about what customer success and lifecycle management is? What are we talking about here and why is that so important?
Yeah, of course. So customer success is something that's really been around for a while. And it's not something that's totally related to just technology, but in anything that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And it's really, really important that our customers and our partners' customers really start to look at these motions as they continue to move the way that their buying models are dictating. Flexible models such as software, annuities, but also other models that are starting to move to more of these flexible ways, hardware as a service, services, managed services. The list really goes on and on. And really the premise of it is quite simple, is your engagement should never end when the purchase order is cut. So that old way of doing business where you land and really move on to that next opportunity is no longer what the consumers are demanding. And so in these new models, these new flexible models, you really have to manage that customer a little bit different. And you have to create new ways, especially ways to create unmatched value. And so what that really means is that in the pre-sales motion, you want to align to true business and technical outcomes for your end customer. And that way, when you move into that post-sale motion, you can start to deliver on those outcomes immediately. You can ensure that that solution is fully adopted. And then you also have the opportunity to see what other value your customer might get out of that solution now that you really understand their business needs and their objectives, but also how they might have changed. There's some really interesting statistics that are out in the market that you may have heard of in the past, but it's all around that new versus existing customer. Like retaining an existing customer is so important to your business. One, because it's easier to sell to them. And you can actually grow your revenue a lot quicker than you can with a net new customer. Now, you still want to make sure you're finding net new customers, but always adding to that versus having customers fall out, kind of that leaky bucket analogy that you might have seen before. And that's really a great way to continue to grow your business.
Yeah, and the only thing I'd like to add to that too is customers are looking for the most they can get out of a possible solution. So business outcomes is really vital to making sure that, you're spending $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, and even upwards of that on these very expensive and elaborate software solutions that are there to protect your network and make things more efficient. So how do we measure that? Is it, making sure that the IT staff doesn't have to spend as much time setting up new switches and devices? So we really want to make sure, what are your goals as a customer? And how do we help you achieve that with the solution? So it's not just the solution is bought, hey, go figure it out and have fun. We're here to make sure that it's doing what you want it to and it's accomplishing some objectives along the way.
So with customer success at scale, I understand that there's a program called CARE. It's an acronym. So Clay, I wonder if you can tell me what that acronym stands for and how does that team work with the partners and their customers?
Yeah, so CARE is the moniker we've given to our team, and it stands for Customer Adoption, Renewal, and Experience. So what we're here to do is provide care to our partners' customers. So we work directly with our partners through them to work directly with their end customers. So they may sell an enterprise agreement or a sizable software solution, and our team is there to help make sure that we're delivering customer success on their behalf to the customer, making sure that they're happy, making sure that whatever that solution is intended to do is it's doing that, and that its customer success is being performed at least some level. We're there to create plans that we work with them to submit to Cisco. Those customer success plans are really vital in tracking everything we're doing with the customers, making sure that there's KPIs that align to those objectives. So making sure that if there's support time that's being reduced or there's a cost reduction or savings that they're looking for by getting rid of some hardware and moving to soft phones or something like that, then we're making sure that we're tracking that and helping those customers realize that. And in the end, it's working through our partners. So it's a co-branded delivery.
Okay. And, these customer success plans, I wonder if we can just, delineate those a little bit more and include digital customer success by the care team. Can you speak to that offering and how it'll benefit partners' customers?
Yeah. So currently we work in a high touch model where myself and a technical resource work hand in hand directly with the customer to come up with those success plans, right? Like I said, identify those objectives, figure out the KPIs, and help make sure the customer realizes that. What we've just launched is our digital version of that, where it's really a no-touch engagement targeted more at that customer base of 5,000 to 50,000. So a little bit smaller of a customer size as far as deals are concerned. But as Nicole mentioned in the beginning, every customer is really important when we look at recurring revenue, reducing churn. So we wanted to provide an offering to our partners to reach all their customers. So it's still performing that customer success motion, maybe not in such a structured plan version, but it is, helping them with the onboarding process, helping them with implementation, providing them resources that are out there and available that they may not be able to get to as quickly or as easily that we already know, especially for the solutions they purchase. So we're starting with Umbrella for that digital engagement, but that's going to spread out to a bunch of other Cisco solutions as we move on and throughout the year.
Yeah, and just to quickly add on to that, digital, as we all know, is becoming so important to every component of everybody's business. And so really enabling that scale engine so that you can ensure you're touching your customers, regardless of the size of spend that they have, is going to continue to be important in this ever-changing world that we live in. That way, you don't have to continue to add OpEx to your own organization, but you can continue to deliver that value out to your customers as needed based on what they're buying and how you want to interact with them.
Just as a follow-up, and I'll point this question to either one of you. So, when listeners are hearing this and they're thinking of their clients, they're thinking of the customers that are the high touch, the ones that they're talking to pretty constantly, but then those less squeaky wheels or the smaller clients don't get as much attention. So when you say a digital customer success plan, I wonder can you just kind of quantify that? Like, what would be an example of something that this program helps set up with this no-touch approach? What are they reaching out to do or inform or offer or educate?
So what we do is we actually pull down a list of the customers that would be eligible for the digital track we already have built out. I mentioned that we're starting with Umbrella. So what we would do is send a list of those customers to the partner, and they would identify the ones that they would want to enroll in this journey, and then we would start from there. So the journey really starts with receiving an onboarding or a welcome email that says, thank you for your purchase, leading into an onboarding email that is a resource for where to get started, where to get that set up that follows a week after that welcome email. So after they receive that implement email, they would also receive an adopt one, which has access to some webinars and some extra resources that's more live interaction with resources that are familiar with the solution and can help them further adopt it. And then finally, we have an advocate email that can go out as well. That's more of a check-in of how was the whole process? What else could have been done better? How are you feeling about your solution to really get that feedback that we can pass them back along to the partner? So it's the idea is the partner doesn't have to monitor this themselves. This is something that we can control and send out. And there's also a no reply email. So there's really no touch involved. It's just making sure those customers feel the love and making sure that they're not left out in the cold and that we're here to make sure that solution's there to help them.
Right. That makes sense. Well, so Clay, continuing the conversation then. So, who is the target for the digital customer success program?
Yeah. So to start off, like I mentioned, it's going to be umbrella customers in that 5,000 to 50,000 range. If you're a partner listening to this, that seems to make the most sense. But as we move forward into the year, we're going to be looking at some of our enterprise agreements and how we can help some of those customers. Because I think there is opportunity for customers that are maybe have an EA and maybe are renewing it or they're very familiar with the solution. So how do we make sure that they're still being serviced and they're still being checked in on and making sure that they're aware of new updates that are coming along? So that's really where we're looking to go next with this digital play.
Okay. So this program, it sounds like it's something probably unique to Ingram. How's Ingram creating this differentiation in the market by offering this program for their partners' customers?
Yeah, so Ingram's showing up really differently. And I think we're going to continue to show up really differently in how we approach the business and how we help service our partners and even how we help service their end customers. And so customer success, lifecycle management is really one of those areas that we're going full steam ahead. It's creating that differentiation because what we've noticed is a lot of our partners are struggling with some of the transition. And it's not just the transition to customer success and how do you do that post-sales motion a little bit differently than maybe you have in the past, but that transition to just recurring offers in general. And customer success is a really important piece of that. So that differentiation that Ingram has created enables our partners to be super agile. They can get to market extremely quickly because we've already built out what is needed to go to market co-branded, which is very important in what we've created for the partner so that it looks like it looks like it comes directly from them. And also, we're also looking at it as it's not a one size fits all. And so Clay mentioned we have a really targeted approach when we look at the total spend by offer to the end customer for what's going to fit into digital. We have a targeted approach when it comes to our high touch model. And so we have a lot of flexibility in terms of how we work with our partners to bring that to market. And then, of course, we're in a digital revolution. Everybody is going through this today. And so everything we do is to create that scale, whether it's for our vendors like Cisco, or it's for our partners, or for our partners to deliver that scale to their end customers and really deliver on that exceptional experience. So we are one of the first distributors to bring such a unique value offer and strategy to market that we look at that post-sales motion, and we're not going to slow down anytime soon. We're going to continue to innovate, bring new offers to market based on what our customers need and what our partners' customers need as well, so we can always stay ahead of that game.
And to add on to what Nicole just said, our high touch care program has been very successful in the first couple of years, and we're seeing a lot of repeat partners. So we work with a partner on one customer, and then the next time an opportunity comes up, they're jumping at the opportunity for us to assist with that customer and help out. And the digital play has really come out of feedback we've gotten that these same partners would love to give this same experience to more customers. So to Nicole's point, the voice of the partner right now is helping us drive this, and we're always looking for new ideas to help us keep differentiating and moving forward, because this is something that Ingram is definitely investing in. So that's the direction we're moving.
Well, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, time is not exactly our friends when it comes to being able to touch all of our customers and clients and be able to make sure that not only are you fulfilling their needs, but you're also checking in with them and making them feel like, okay, somebody's there if I need them, and they're familiar enough to me that I can reach out. So having that relationship building, I guess, is seems like certainly a benefit of this.
For sure.
Well, so as we do start to wrap up our episode, we always ask our guests the same final question, and that's, where do you see technology going in the next year? So, Nicole, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so I really see two big things. One, it's data. Data is really becoming the new currency, and how we get data, how we utilize that data to create different insights is going to become more and more important, because everybody's business decisions are going to be based on that data. And with that data, it's also with AI. I think we're going to continue to see an uptick in AI. We've already started to see it with what Bing is doing, and Google is trying to come up to speed with that. I think those two are huge areas of opportunity. And then the last one that I really see is the subscription economy. We're already knee deep in it, and it's not going to slow down. And when I talk about a subscription economy, I'm not just talking about your normal software subscriptions. I'm talking about everything that you can buy from a technology perspective to be available in a subscription, whether it is hardware, whether it is services, even managed services. You will continue to see that demand and flexibility from the consumers, and the way that we approach it, not just from a distributor, but from a partner and from a vendor lens, is going to be very critical to everybody's success over the next few years.
And Clay, how about you?
So similar to Nicole, I definitely see the software becoming more and more prevalent. I'm already starting to see it in a lot of the partners and customers I talked to today. I think the future is going to be the not elimination of hardware, but the reduction as much as possible, because hardware is starting to just serve as a a vehicle for the technology and the data to move through, right? So the more software machines that are coming on board, the more virtual machines that are becoming available. Hardware is more just there to help it work. But the software is really going to be important. And I think a lot of customers are going to start to get away from hard phone systems, move to soft phones. It's happening more and more each day. And as that happens, making sure that you stay up to speed with what software is coming, but also how do you make sure that it's working the way it needs to? And how do you make sure that you're attaching business outcomes to that software is going to be critical for our partners. And that's something that I see taking over already, but I can see that keeping to grow throughout the next year.
Yeah. Well, Clay, for listeners who have any questions or want to find out more about what we talked about today, how can they reach out?
So everyone's always welcome to reach out to me. I'm happy to receive any calls. My phone number is pretty easy to find, but you could also reach out to our team alias, which has a few more people monitoring it, which is ciscocx@ingrammicro.com.
Well, perfect. Well, I appreciate the time and the insight. Nicole and Clay, thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in and subscribing to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. If you like this episode or have a question, please join the discussion on Twitter with the hashtag B2B Tech Talk. Until next time, I'm Shelby Skrhak.
You've been listening to B2B Tech Talk by Ingram Micro. This episode was sponsored by Ingram Micro X Vantage. B2B Tech Talk is a joint production between Sweetfish Media and Ingram Micro. To listen to this episode and many others, visit ingrammicro.com.